Good morning, everybody. I'm Marg from Creative Stamping with Marg. You can see a little bit of a different view today. I'm starting right down on my desk because I'm trying to do a really quick video for you. I'm hopping on just to share with you a quick card idea. I was reminded the other day by a friend that sometimes we need to make a quick card and we need a lot of them. She came over to do a bunch of thank you cards and she had limited time and she needed to make a whole bunch. So this is not the card she made, but this just reminded me that I need to share with you some really easy ideas that we can reproduce. So this idea came from our annual catalog, which is this one if you haven't seen it. And I will share with you, you might recognize it, but I'll share with you at the end the pictures out of the catalog that I was casing, copy and share everything. Okay. So all you need for this card is a card base. Mine today is crushed curry. It is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So it's our regular card base. A piece of designer series paper that is 4 by 5.5. So I've chosen a piece of designer paper out of the Floral Impressions package. And it's the one that has some people say these are sunflowers. I think they're more like a daisy, but anyway. And you have to like both sides of your paper for this one. So this is the one side and it reverses over to a garden green pattern. So you have to like both sides because we're going to see both sides. You also need a piece of white for the inside, and I'm using the dies, Textured Notes dies. They're quickly become one of my favorite dies. So they have a nice fancy edge on them. So I have cut a white piece to go on the inside of mine. And then whatever you want, some kind of a greeting and die cuts, ribbon, embellishments, okay? We can step it up as much as you want, but I'm going to show you just a quick and easy version. So all this card entails is that you have your 4 by 5.5 inch piece. You want to score on, it could be either edge, doesn't matter, the right or the left. I'm doing it on the right. I turned my paper this way and I scored at 3/4 of an inch. So now I'm going to fold that back. So it just looks like that. And then we're going to put it on our card. That's as easy as it is. So again, I'm going to glue that flap down on here. Now you could add ribbon behind here before you glued it down and have ribbon tied on it. Again, you can fancy this up any way you want. I am going to show you just a very quick and easy version of this so that you'll see how quick this really is. So I'm gluing that flap down. Just hold it for a minute. I am using my Tombow white glue and I'm going to put it onto my card base. So you can center it so that you can see both sides, or you can have it closer to the edge, the left edge, and have more over here. Or you can have it closer to the right edge and have it more that way. I'm going to have it more to my right edge. I have planned this card, so I think this is the way I want it. And if you're cutting, I noticed when I cut one of these card DSP, when I was putting it on here, it wasn't exactly straight. So you may have to do a little trimming on your edges, but that's not a problem. Like when I open my card and I turn it over, I can see I have a little bit of an edge here. So sometimes our cutting isn't the straightest, so you can always trim that off. So I am going to do that because I don't like the look of it. It's just, maybe a 1/16 of an inch hanging over here. So I'm just going to trim it off just like that. And then to my eye, it looks perfect now along the bottom. Okay, so that's literally as easy as that card is. And isn't that effective with that? Makes, really, I really like looking at both sides of the paper. Okay, so then I brought in the stylish shapes and blooming phrases for my greeting. This is a great one for greeting. So I stamped a banner with the word thanks in garden green. And I already told you this is the Floral Impressions paper. I did use the dies from Impressions A Bloom. There's a whole bunch of flower dies. This flower right here makes me think of the flower that's on my card. So I did cut one of those out in crushed curry, and the center, you've got all these centers, I cut it out of early espresso because I wanted it to kind of look like that. I also cut some of the green leaves out, and there are some little flowers on this paper. And when you go back to the package back of paper and look at the colors, I was looking for this color of flower, and the closest I can come is peach pie. So in the dies, there are all these little tiny flowers. So I did cut them out of peach pie, just in case I wanted. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I thought maybe I'd want those. All right, so let's get putting this together on the front. So I want my greeting on here somewhere, and my thought was I would attach this flower to the end of my greeting. So I'm just thinking I wanted this flower kind of on the green so it would show up. But first I am going to assemble this flower. I have to put the center in, so the brown center goes right here. So we'll just drop that on and let that dry a little bit before I get playing with this flower. And the leaves, but I'm thinking I'm going to put my greeting up on dimensionals, and then I will attach the flower right to that greeting. Okay, so I'm going to do it like this. Take the backings off. All right. Now, just as a bit of an aside, I hope everybody, all my Canadian friends, enjoyed their July 1st holiday, if you got it off work or were able to do a little bit of playing yesterday, on July 1st, not yesterday, 2 days ago. That was our holiday here in Canada. And if you're from the United States, of course, your holiday is coming up tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow is your holiday, right? Or no, that's not right. Let's see, today is the 2nd, I'm sorry. 2 days you're going to have a holiday. So I know you do lots of celebrating. I heard the fireworks here at my house where I live. I heard them last night, so that's always fun. Now I'm putting that just on the edge of that banner, but now I'm thinking I should have had, I could maybe lift it off. It's probably not glued yet. Lift it off and put a dimensional just on the side that's going to be kind of hanging off, but I don't want it to show because it has to be on the same kind of plane as my banner. So it needs to be on a dimensional too. There we go. So there we go. Doesn't that look good? I love that. Very simple, very quick. Then you can put your white inside and stamp your greeting first if you're going to stamp something. I am not. Mine is just a simple thank you card, so I like to leave those blank till I know who I'm giving it to. You could add a strip of designer series paper in here like I often do, or I thought I might put some of these little flowers on the corner. So I think I'm going to go ahead and glue that in. And I will show you another card that I made out of another new paper that we have. And I will show you where I found this idea in the catalog if you haven't figured it out yet. A lot of you might have already seen this idea, and I just think it's a really great one for some quick cards. How quick did that go together? Just have to have your designer series paper cut, and of course the size of our designer series paper, you could use 6x6 paper or 12x12 paper would work for this one. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's on the inside, and I thought I might put some of these little peachy flowers on the inside. I thought that might be kind of cute. So I think I'll just put a little bit of glue on the back of them and let them sit for a minute while I finish up here on the front. I do have some embellishments for the front. I was looking at what's still on the last chance list, and I hope these are still on there. what were they called? Let's see. The Pecan Pie Clear Ribboned Adhesive Back Dots. They were $11.75 and now they're $9.40. So those Pecan Pie ones I thought might look good on this card because Pecan Pie is one of the colors. And I assume that they were talking about the brown that's in a lot of the centers of these flowers. However, for mine, I did use Early Espresso. I like the look of it better than the Pecan Pie. I think I'll just do 3 there. All right, I'll let those set up. I also have the green leaves that I was going to put on. And I was thinking, now that I've got my flower on there, I don't really think it needs the green leaves because there's so much green behind it. You could put the green leaves on if you wanted. All right, these come in 2 sizes. So I will use a large one, and I think I might put them, put them onto the crushed curry side there, and maybe over here with the 2 little ones. Just like that. So those are the Pecan Pie dots. They just add a little bit of bling to it. All right, let's look at our inside, and we are done this card. So that is very quick, and I think you could make a lot of those if you needed them and have them done in pretty short order. Just going to use find my tweezers here, pick these up. And I just thought I might put them just down in the corner here of the inside. I like to do something in the inside of my card. And because we didn't really do too much stamping or anything like that, I thought, oh, I'll just add these little flowers. There. What do you think of that? Just to add some interest in the inside. There we go. All right. So we didn't even use these. I just keep all these pieces. And I can use them on another card. All right, I'm going to show you where I saw this in the catalog, if you haven't figured out where I'm going with this. This was on page 45 of our catalog, and they were talking about this suite, the Florals in Bloom, Florals in Bloom suite. It has a whole double page spread on page 40 and 41. Beautiful. So I do have the paper. I will show you the card I made from that. So it has 2 stamps and die sets in this one. Paper, embellishments. But here's where the ideas came in. Page 45, very bottom of this page. There's my card idea right there. Now, again, and it even says, score and fold over one edge of the paper to show both sides. And look how easy that is. And they didn't do anything extra on theirs either. They just put their greeting on. And look, they used 3 different pieces of paper from that. So that's where my idea came from. So it's really good to go through your catalog, and it does spark some ideas. So from that paper, which is called Florals in Bloom, I did make a card. I chose a different paper than they used here in the samples. I chose this paper. So it's the floral, and it has bubble bath in it, which I really wanted to use because I haven't really used it very much, and the new cloud cover. So it is really, and I did add ribbon on this one. I did do a double greeting and some embellishments on it. Did I finish the inside? Let me have a look. Oh, I did. I put a small piece of paper in the inside and just a piece of the designer series paper along the bottom. So that's the same package of paper that they used there. I just used one of the different designs. So there's the 2 cards that I made. Quick and easy, reproducible. Could make a whole pile of them. All you have to do is really get your card bases set up and cut some designer series paper that you like both sides of. So you need to take your paper and, turn the edge of it so you see. Some of them I'm not fussy for because I don't like what they turn over to. To me, they kind of don't go together maybe. It's not quite the right colors, so I don't use them, but most of them work out pretty good. All right, that's it for our card today. I hope you enjoyed that. I do have some Stampin' Up! News to share, of course. On July 1st, I think it was, they released 2 new kits. there is some new online exclusives. So you need to go to the online store and you can see both the kits and all these new online items. Actually, one of, no, I'm not going to say that. That's not true. One of the online new exclusives that they released is some really pretty paper. So anyway, check it out. The paper pumpkin kit for July, I've already shown it to you, but I will show it to you again because you just have another week to subscribe to this. This is the new one called Sweeter With You. Needs to be subscribed to by July the 10th. You make 4 different designs, 2 each cards. So very summery, obviously with strawberries and some gingham by the looks of this. And the add-on dies, oops, I got that upside down. The add-on dies are these. They're called Circle of Seasons, and they will go with July, August, and September paper pumpkin kits. So the number is 167277, and they cost $16.50. So that's the paper pumpkin for this month. Remember too that I have a card kit available to you. I will move these out of the way for a second and just showcase these cards. So these are showcasing your 12 by 12 designer series paper. So there's 4 different cards. You would get the 4 cards and everything to make them, except I don't do the stamping for you. You have to use your own stamps, but everything else is included, including the envelopes. You'll get a PDF from me with picture and step-by-step directions to put them together. And I also will send you a private video showing me putting these 4 cards together. So you see them getting put together if you like to follow that. So just contact me either through my email, mrgorn@shaw.ca, or through my website, margaretgorn.stampinup.net, and I can get that kit to you. It is $15. If I'm mailing it, it would be an extra $5. All right, I think that's all my news for today. I'm going to let everybody get back to their summer. We are in a bit of a heat wave here, so I hope everybody's enjoying their summer, and I will see you next week. Thanks for joining me.